Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock Review is honored to have on legendary bassist, singer, songwriter, Pete Sears. Thanks for coming on the show, Pete.
Oh, good. All right. It's wonderful to be here.
You know, you've been in so many legendary bands over the years, and we're going to talk about that. But also, I want to discuss the new band you're in, Moonalice, and you guys have a brand new album coming out, Full Moonalice Volume 1, this March. How did this come about?
Yes. Well, we have it's a band, Moonalice. It's been around a little while. You know, we've been around a few years. And we've got some new singers. You know, we have Lester Chambers and his son Dylan Chambers, and the T sisters, right? They're three women that harmonize amazing. They're sisters, and Lester Chambers, you know, he's singing he was in the original Chambers Brothers back in 69, 70, you know, that had the big hit Time. That
oh my gosh, what a great song.
You know, and we re-recorded Time with Lester singing. You know, he's in the band now, you know, so it's very cool. And Dylan and the T sisters all singing on this. And so that was released in November, and now we have then the T sisters released Woo Woo, which is a song they wrote, and with Rachel, Chloe, and Erica, and that was released at New Year's Eve, I think. Yeah.
Wow, and it seems like a very small band, Pete. It's only a 10-piece band.
I know. That's a big band. I know, one of those big bands, but it's fun. It's fun. We all get along really well, and musically as people. So that's good, you know. And there's a lot.
Well, and it has to be exciting for you too, Pete, because I mean, you have shared the stages with so many incredible artists over the years, including Rod Stewart, Jefferson, Starship, and so on. It's like, and you're still staying so productive at this time in your life. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Somehow it's I don't know. It's just you stick around long enough, you know. I mean, you build up some sort of life experience, I guess. You know. I just wanted to say the new single is called "Let's Get Funky." Another song.
Oh yeah.
Lester wrote, and that's just came out, so it's available on all the streaming platforms. You know, the whole thing, which I don't really understand. You know, I'm still old school, right? With a record vinyl or something, you know. But anyway, yeah, we may and then release it as an EP as well, you know. But probably in April 420, somewhere around then. And anyway, yeah. So
well, you know, and I listened to all the songs too, Pete. I mean, and the compositions just sound great, as you mentioned, with the singers and everybody involved. The harmonies, it's just a very full pieces of music, a bit retro, but also very positive and upbeat.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we it's retro. We can't really do much else, you know. We just write and play, and it comes out. It really feels like the old way of doing things, which I think is needed today. You know, I think it's just we need to get that back to that early root. Really, it's just. I mean, it's not for everybody, I suppose, but I like the old music. You know.
I do too, and it seemed very danceable, and it seemed like it'd be great music just to have at parties and everything. It's still high energy, and with all these different cuts you guys have done.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's really great stuff. You know, it's fun. It's fun for me, you know, as a bass player. With this band, I play bass. With other bands, keyboards, sometimes bass or keyboards, depends who I'm playing. Right. But this band, I'm playing bass, and it's a lot of fun to play those songs, like some of the old songs, like Lester sings. Also does "People Get Ready."
Which I love the take on this album.
Yeah, and because he was a good friends with Curtis, you know, Lester was, so you know, and that's always been one of my favorite songs. We're going to be releasing that also, you know, in a while.
Now you're going to be doing some music videos as well as the singles coming out before the entire EP comes out, Pete.
Yeah, we're probably going to do something like that. Yeah, we're shooting stuff here and there, you know. Yeah, we'll get something like that going.
So is there a big tour planned? I mean, in between, you know, I know you're constantly songwriting. And you play with some other bands also. Are you guys planning to get out on the road this year?
Yeah. We're going to be working up and down the West Coast for a while, you know, and we're playing actually the later this month, and then in Felton near Santa Cruz, and Sweetwater. We're playing there as well in Mill Valley, you know, and
Yeah.
but then we're going to be working our way up and down, playing festivals, that sort of thing, and then we're going to be probably in September. We're going to move to do some touring in the East Coast, I think, at Ohio and other. We're not sure, you know, we're still working that out. But,
Yeah. How exciting. Well, you know, and you obviously, Pete, you know, being born and raised in England, and I've got to ask you the obvious question. I'm sure you get this a lot. What was it like meeting and jamming with Jimi Hendrix on stage also?
Oh, that was great. You know, I mean, the first time I met Jimmy I was with a band called Fleur de Lis. It's the second pro band I was with, and I was playing keys with those guys. And we were a couple of the guys were staying with Eric Burden, you know, in the Animals in their house in London. And so I was visiting them, and I was sitting in the kitchen, and Chaz walks in with this guy, you know, and started chatting, talking. Real nice, unassuming guy, you know, just jeans and just regular, you know, clothing and everything. And we really hit it off, you know, for about we all talked for about, you know, 30 minutes or something, and it was Jimmy, you know, and but we were, you know, he played you know, guitar with Little Richard, I think, and we really you know, we're just looking at him, you knew he was good, right?
Right.
I didn't realize he was that good though. And then later on, you know, but then Chaz brought him down. We were in the studio in London recording a song called Amen, which is also an old impression song,
right?
Know? And Jimmy overdubbed on it, right? But it was never released, you know. Nobody knew what acetate is, you know. We're all looking for the thing, and some rock books say I have it, but I don't have it, you know. The last time I saw it was when I was sleeping on somebody's floor, and I saw it on the coffee table, and you know, I was like 17 years old or something. Anyway, but yeah. So, but then one thing and another, I joined a band after that playing Indian music with Sam Gopal Dream, the original trio, which had an underground following. We played all the London psychedelic clubs, UFO, Middle Earth Club, all that stuff. And Jimmy, you know, we played some of the same shows that they did, like Christmas on Earth show. Played that. Anyway, he came down and sat in with us. That was nice. And we did some few songs with him. And he did his mic stand thing, you know, where he makes it, because he used our guitar player, you know, he grabbed our guitar player's guitar and it was just playing it back to front, you know, which is played just as well as he did the regular way, you know. And,
you know, and I could be wrong, Pete, but I think you may have to do your own book just on all your stories from your life. I mean, from your early times there in the UK, and obviously, as we mentioned, with Rod Stewart, with Jimi Hendrix, writing songs with Grace Slick for Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, no, that's all good experiences, you know, for the most part. And yeah, I'm thinking about doing that probably, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong too, Pete, but weren't you in the documentary on John Lee Hooker?
Yeah, one of them, yeah. I mean,
I'm a huge John Lee Hooker fan.
Yeah, German made one, right? Yeah, I had Johnny Johnson, a good friend of mine, on keys, and you know, I think on the jam, I think I played accordion, you know, and yeah, they interviewed me. That's right. Yeah, I remember that one. Forgot the name. That's My Story or something like that.
That's it. That's My Story.
Right.
Yeah. Which, you know, you'll have to figure out the title for your book. You know, I got to bring up too, you know, you and your wife have done a lot of humanitarian work over the years as well, and continue to do that just as you continue to perform and write songs. So you got a lot of things keeping you busy, Pete.
Yeah, that's true. True. Yep. And working around the house, you know, fixing the fence and stuff. Yeah, my wife is she's going through a period now health-wise, and we're working on fixing that, you know. And she wrote a book, a beautiful, great novel, rock and roll novel called A Light Rain of Grace. And Ben Fong Torres and Grace Slick all gave it good little blurbs on it and everything. And so, but because of her illness, we haven't been able to actually sort of put it out there. It's available on Amazon, you know, and that sort of thing. But
Good to know.
So I'll probably we're going to work on that pretty soon, and I'm
You know,
working
and she'd also be helpful with you on your own book, Pete.
Yeah.
Who knows you better?
She could edit it. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Probably help me edit it, I suppose. But, and then, yeah, and I'm working with Zero, you know, the band Zero. It's another band other than Steve Kimmock and Zero. We were supposed to play the film a couple of weeks ago, and that was canceled because of COVID, you know.
Right.
And, you know, and there's David Nelson band, you know, from the New Riders of the Purple Sage. Wonderful. Great. And we play a lot. And yeah, and Steamhammer, a band from 1969 that I worked with in a British blues band, right, with Martin Pugh, the guitar player Martin Pugh. I used to watch them at the Marquee Club in 1969, and then I played as a guest on their record, played piano on a couple of tracks, and right before I came to the US for the first time, you know?
Right.
And anyway, they were going to get the band back together to play Glastonbury in 2020. And of course, that was canceled because of the COVID situation. And so we just started sending files back and forth and ended up recording an album. And
how incredible.
And now it's being put out on a German label. It's coming out in June on vinyl and streaming and everything, MIG Records. And so, yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, you know.
a lot of positive stuff, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, in the height of the COVID thing, I was in a kind of a melancholy mood, you know. And I started writing these songs, and just, you know, real sort of just, you know, tucked in there, sort of melancholy sort of stuff. And I started, and I added Jason Crosby, who's my Moonalice bandmate. He's a great keyboard player and plays violin. And he added some violin, and then I got Sam Bush, another friend of mine in Nashville, who plays mandolin. He put a bit on it, so I'm building that too. That's almost finished, you know.
Yeah, and Sam's been on the show before. Oh, great talent.
Yeah, great talent. Yeah, and it's a kind of an album that will never sell a single. But it will never sell, right? Because the songs are too long, you know, that kind of thing. But somebody might like it. And one of the songs is, I wrote a song about my granddad. It's an anti-war song, really, called Granddad's War, you know, and it's about the First World War. For me, I'm old, right? Also, his war was the First World War, and all the stuff that happened to him, both my grandfathers from. And so it's a sort of an anti-war song called Granddad's War.
Wow. How incredible. I can't wait to hear it.
But it goes on and on and on, you know. So, but anyway, so I'm working on that, you know, and on the Steamhammer project, I reconnected with Martin Pugh, which is really nice. The guitar player, who was one of those early British blues guys, you know. And Steamhammer were Freddie King's UK backing band. When he came to tour the UK, they backed him up, you know. So Freddie was a great guy.
What a blues talent. One of the three kings of the blues.
Oh, just unbelievable, you know. And so yeah, Martin, then I think kind of people like Mickey Waller, Martin Whittington were all in that band at different times. And John Lingwood, the drummer we're using now, is an old friend of mine, plays in Manfred Mann in the Earth band over there.
Right.
You know? And he played drums, and Phil Colombato played he lives in the desert. He sang and played harp, you know, and I played keys and most bass, and so we had a good. I engineered the project, you know. So there's that. A lot of stuff.
You're a man of many talents. Well, I want to make sure our viewers know too that with the EP for Full Moonalice Volume 1 coming out in April, and you guys have been dropping singles, there's going to be more videos coming out, a big tour. Pete, where should our viewers go, website and social media wise, to keep up on everything with the Moonalice band?
Well, probably I think the most safest bet would be moonalice.com, moonalice.com, and of course, it's the new single "Let's Get Funky" is available on all the streaming platforms, right? So.
Well, I tell you what, we can't wait to see you in concert. Hopefully you come through Nashville as well, plus all of the other great music projects that you have coming out. Pete Sears, thank you so much for coming on the Rock and Review.
All right, thanks, man. Good to talk to you.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.